weirdo outside. All right. Yes, good job. All right, good morning. For the flow today, hamstrings, a little lats, some hips, but just kind of, it's the start of the new year. I just want you to flow through and just settle into each of these stretches, okay? We start on our backs. And so move that block off to the side. We won't need it for a little bit, okay? So let's find our backs here, and then just set yourself up so your feet are flat on the floor, and then those knees are gonna kind of come in towards the middle. So it's very relaxed. And then arms just go anywhere that's comfortable. And we begin now to just breathe through the nose. Gently close the mouth. And take a few cycles of breath to smooth it out. Make it really big and see if we can move through some of those sticky places. The inhale should be a full inhale, and the exhale should be as much air out as possible. Just opening up the lungs. Becoming more connected and mindful to how you're breathing. And just will help the body relax into each of these poses. And then from here, let's continue to breathe through the nose, and you'll just extend the legs on the floor, and then the arms will go overhead. And we're going to reach like you're waking up in the morning. Full body stretch, so reaching the toes away from the hands. You can roll the ankles, just anything to stretch out. Good, and then we go ahead and release, bringing the knees to the chest, wrapping the forearms around the shins for a little squeeze. And then an easy happy baby. So you're just going to grab the outer edges of the feet, and we'll just gently play around with a little bit of a hip stretch. I can move around and straighten the legs. It's really easy here. Good. And then let's go ahead and release. Place your feet back on the floor. And I want them again at the width of the mat. So find the edges of the mat with the feet. We're going to go into windshield wiper. So feet are going to stay where they are, but you're going to let both knees fall over to the right side. Just let them get heavy. A breath or two here. Knees through center. Over to the other side. Let that right knee and leg get heavy. Through center again, and then one more each way. So drop them to the right. And then through center, and then over to the left. Good, and then bringing the knees back through center. Okay. Take your right foot and place it over and above your left knee. Okay. We're going to come into a little bit of a twisted windshield wiper, twisted figure four, whatever we want to call it. And we're going to take the knees and let them drop over to the left side. So that left knee will fall to the left while that right foot is hooked to the knee. Okay. And then you're going to feel kind of this whole side, this right side get a little stretch, maybe into the hip, lower back. It just really is depending on where you're tight today. Good. Bringing the legs through center. And then before you go anywhere, keep that right foot connected. Draw the left knee in. Get a little bit of extra hip stretch here. So as you draw your left knee in, grab your right knee and your right foot. And then along with that left knee, you're just going to gently pull against that shin to help increase the stretch in the right side. Let's go ahead and gently release. And then unhook that right foot. Place it flat on the floor. Left foot is over and above the right knee. You're going for the twist first. So start by allowing that right knee to fall over to the right. That left foot goes with it. You might be feeling something similar or different on this side. Just kind of noticing how each side feels so we can start evening things out. And bringing the knee through center. And then going for our hip stretch. So keeping your left foot connected to the knee, draw your right knee in. And then grab your left foot and your left knee. And then we're gently pulling against the shin to draw it closer to the chest. Good. Let's go ahead and gently release. Unhook the feet and then give the knees a little squeeze to the chest. Good. And then we've got a hamstring stretch. So release the legs, left leg straight on the floor, right leg straight up. Okay. And you're just going to grab for the back of the thigh, the knee, whatever you can. And just gently curl your right toes to your shins. So a little bit of tension through the lower leg. And just focusing on breathing through the nose as we gently allow those hamstrings and calves to lengthen. And all right, go ahead and release. Right leg on the floor, and then the left leg up. Again, grab for the back of whatever you can on that left leg. Gently curling the left toes to the shin to find some tension in the lower leg. And then we breathe. Good. All right, let's go ahead and release that. Bring both knees back to the chest. A little squeeze. And then just take a couple reps where we're going to rock forward and back. And then we're going to rock up to a seat with the legs straight out in front. Good. So here, I want you to sit up tall, toes up towards the ceiling. And then we're just going to, from here, allow yourself to round then into the stretch. Maybe you feel a little bit more back than hamstrings. So just kind of soften that spine round as you fold. Use every exhale to relax more into the stretch. And then go ahead and sit up. And place those hands behind you, fingers facing forward. Feet then flat on the floor. We're coming into reverse tabletop, a little bit of a shoulder stretch. So we squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then we're going to straighten the arms, lifting the chest. If we need more, we're going to start to lift the hips. And even more from here, we shift forward towards the heels. So opening up the front of the shoulders. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and release. And then we're going to cross our ankles, coming into our hands and knees for some cat-cow. All right, so hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We're gonna arch the back, lift the chest. And then we're gonna round. As you do that, press through the palms. Try to separate the shoulder blades a little more. And then here we go, arch the belly, lift. And round. And then a couple more on your own. We can kind of move the hips side to side. We can do some body rolls. Just add a little bit more movement to the cat-cow. Good. All right, and finding neutral here. Take your right foot and set it out to the right. Toes forward. And then just sit the hips to the heels. Okay. Feel a good inner thigh stretch here. If we don't feel much of a stretch, you can always shimmy your right foot out to the right a little bit more. And then we'll come down to the forearms or wherever you can. All right, on your inhale, walking the hands back, lift the chest, and then we're going to just come up onto this left knee. That right foot is still out to the right. On your inhale, we'll lift the left arm up, reach up, and then lean over to the right toes. And feel a good stretch, maybe down into the hip on the side, those obliques, maybe even into the lats and the armpit. And then bringing yourself up towards center. Take this right foot, and we're going to come into a half split. So you're going to bring it forward, and then you're going to shimmy it until that leg is straight, and then we're going to fold. Now, here's where if we need our block, we can place the block under the knee or wherever we need to feel that hamstring stretch. Okay. Try to take the right hip and scoop it in a little bit, and then take your toes and curl them back. Ooh. Good. All right, let's go ahead and bring the hands inside of that front foot, and then just go back to that kind of hands and knees position. We'll use the block in a moment, so have it handy. Left foot out to the left, toes forward, and then sit the hips back towards the heel. All right, now walking the hands back. Coming up onto that right knee, left foot stays out to the left. I'm gonna go right arm up, lift, and then lean over to the left. Keep reaching through the right arm so that whole right side gets stretched. Good. Bringing the torso back up. Right, left foot, is going to step forward, coming into that half split position. So if we need our block, bring it right under that knee or wherever we need it to be to get the help we need to find that stretch. Once you get into position, that left hip needs to just scoop in a little bit, and then those left toes just curl back. Good. Let's go ahead and move that block off to the side if you were using it. Bring the hands inside that front foot. And then we're going to come into downward facing dog. So starting from hands and knees, we'll tuck the toes and we'll just send the hips up. And then when you get there, we'll pedal out the heels so we get that extra calf stretch on each side. Holding each side, maybe about 3 counts. Still really get those calves stretched out for our downward dog. Cool. All right, and then from here, you're going to step your right foot forward between the hands and bring your back knee down for a lunge. Okay. All right, so we're going to add a little twist to this lunge. So first thing I want you to do is just relax the hips down just a bit. Get a little stretch in the front of the hip. Then you're going to take your left elbow and place it on your right knee. From here, we'll lift the chest, and then hands can come to prayer, fist, whatever is comfortable, okay? We're going to lift the chest again, and then we're going to press the palms together, trying to bring them to the middle of the chest as we rotate. Breathe. Trying to bring that right shoulder down away from the ear. Feel the right ribs roll back. Good, and then bringing the hands down inside that front foot. Just going to shimmy that right foot over to the right a couple inches for Spiderman. So here we're just going to get those hips to relax all the way down. And then either we stay on the palms or we can drop down to the forearms if that feels good. Or on the block. Wherever we are today. Good. All right, let's bring the hands onto the floor, and then we'll meet back in downward dog for the other side. Pedal out those heels a couple times. Cool. Then let's go second side. So first step that right foot between the hands. I'm sorry, that left foot, excuse me. And then bring the back knee down. Okay. Go ahead and relax into the stretch just a little bit so you can feel a little stretch here. And then take your right elbow to the left knee. Palms, however are most comfortable, are you're going to press, lift the chest, and then reach the palms towards the center of the chest. That will help you rotate. Try to drop your left shoulder away from the ear. Good. Go ahead and release that. Hands come down now inside that front foot as we shimmy it over to the left just a little bit more. Coming into Spiderman. So we can stay on the palms, go to the block, or all the way down. Let's go ahead now and release out of that. And we'll come back into downward facing dog. All right, and from here we have a down dog side stretch. So first thing I want you to do is lift your heels super high, so coming onto the tippy toes. Then both heels will drop over to the left side. So if you looked at your feet, they're kind of lined up, heel to toe. As you do that, you're going to press through the palms and lift the hips up. You feel that side stretch on the right side. Bring the heels back through center and then over to the other side. Drop them to the right. Good, and then bringing yourself back through center. Next, we've got pigeon. So from your down dog here, bring your right knee toward your right wrist. Okay. And then you're going to shimmy your back leg back. Now, if you're feeling pretty tight today, use the block. Okay. And if not, just go as far as we feel comfortable to be able to be in this stretch for a few minutes. Okay. Relaxing the shoulders, release the jaw, soften the neck, and let the body get heavy. All right, slowly start to walk the hands back towards the shin. You got the block, move it off to the side, and then you're going to roll onto your outer right hip and bring your left knee up so that your right foot is inside that left thigh. Okay. Okay. And then from here, we're going to take that left hip and just try to drop it down a little bit. It likes to pop up in this position. Okay. And then hands go back behind. Maybe this is enough. Maybe you're feeling everything in the front of that left hip and you're like, that's it. If not, we can start to go back a little bit farther, either to the forearms or lay all the way back. All right, let's go ahead and gently bring yourself out of that and back into down dog as we set up for the next side. Okay. When you get into your down dog, you can kind of move around a little bit, see if there's, you can lift that right leg, shake it out. All right, let's go to the second side. So from your down dog, bring your right or left knee toward your left wrist and bring the shin down, walking the back leg back. This side might need a block, it might not, so do what you need. And then we'll come on down, nice and relaxed position. Soften the shoulders and the neck. Relax the toes and the fingers. Release the jaw. And we'll just breathe here. A couple more breaths here. All right, let's go ahead and slowly walk the hands back. That block can go off to the side. We'll lean on to the outer left hip as we bring the knee forward. And then this right hip, just drop it down a little bit. And begin to walk the hands back. Maybe this feels different than the first side, so maybe you're a little bit less flexible or more flexible. So do what you need to on this side to feel the good stretch. Good. Now go ahead and bring yourself slowly out of that. Let's go back to that down dog just to reset everything. Whatever you did on that first side, maybe you lifted the leg, maybe you shook it out, do it on this one. Good. Now let's go ahead and bring both feet down, bring the knees down to the mat, and we're going to take a seat with the legs straight out in front. Cool. So this one might feel a little bit more flexible since we're coming back to it for the second time. So let's go ahead and sit up really tall. And then on this one, you're going to just reach towards your toes, trying to keep as much length in the spine as you can. You're going to feel a lot of tension through those hamstrings. So keep lifting that chest so that spine is super long. And then go ahead and round into it. So now we just soften the back and round. You'll notice this changes the target position of the stretch, like where you feel it the most. You might be feeling more of your lower back here. Kind of hanging out. Good. Now go ahead and sit the torso up. And then we're going to bring our feet into, it's going to look like a diamond. Okay. So instead of like really close, like an ab mat sit up, we're going to bring those feet out in front so we create a diamond shape. Okay. And then from here, we're going to sit up tall, interlace the fingers, and then we're going to reach and we're going to round the back, trying to get the forehead towards the heels. You can use your arms to gently pull yourself into this position, but we're looking for a soft back so that the forehead can reach farther to the feet. And bringing yourself up. Okay. And then bring your feet closer. Heels now. Now we're in like a butterfly. Okay. And so again, interlace the fingers. That gives you a little leverage. You're going to sit up tall. Push the knees down a little bit if you can, and then we're going to fold. You can round a little bit into this, but it's really now thinking of the chest going towards the heels. Good. Go ahead and sit up. And then we're going to take that butterfly position and turn it into like a seated cross position. And what we want is we want those heels to kind of come in a little bit this way, or those knees, so that those knees feel like they're stacked right over the feet. Okay. Sitting up tall. And then let's go ahead and just reach forward. Just easy bow. We can round into it. Good. Now walking the hands back, sitting up. And then we're going to go into a little twist. So left hand to the right knee. You guys are going to twist that way. Sit up tall and then just gently turn. And bring your torso through center. Let's go to the other side. Right hand to the left knee. Sit up tall and turn. And then go ahead and release that. Okay. And you're going to uncross the legs. We're going to come onto our backs. Let's make sure the block is handy. So make sure the block is like off to the side so you can grab it. And then we're going to lay all the way back and come into happy baby again. This happy baby might feel a little bit different than the first one. Okay. So you might have a little bit more space to stack the feet and pull down so that those knees drop closer to the floor. Tailbone is reaching to the ground so the lower back feels flat to the floor and on the mat. Then you can play around with moving into that happy baby so you can straighten the legs together or alternating. And then we'll just go ahead and release that. Bring the knees together, wrap your forearms around the knees and give them a squeeze into the chest. Now finding your block. Place your feet flat on the floor. You're going to lift your hips and place your block under that lower back. So you're going to find the flattest part of your lower back for the block to rest under. And then once you found a comfortable position for that block, you're going to bring your legs up to the ceiling. We want a position where we're feeling like those legs are just hanging out. We're not, obviously we have to hold them up a little bit, but the least amount of muscle activation to get them to just hang out above our heads. Just relaxing where we can. Cool. All right. Let's go ahead and gently bring the feet to the floor. You'll just move that block off to the side. Bring those knees back to the chest for a little squeeze. And then we've got our final twist. So keeping your right knee in, place your left foot flat on the floor, and just scoot your hips over to the right a couple inches. Once you get there, your left leg will straighten out onto the ground, and then your right knee falls to the opposite side for your twist. Try to bring the arms out like a T. Really, that right arm is the most important. And instead of pushing yourself into the twist, every exhale, you are relaxing into the twist, letting gravity slowly do the work here. Good. Now bringing that right knee gently through center. Reset the hips. Both knees to the chest for a squeeze to reset and start the next side. Right foot flat on the floor to scoot the hips over to the left a couple inches. Right leg extends, and then the left leg falls over to the right. It's now that left arm that extends out like a T, and then gravity doing all the work here. All right, gently, slowly bringing yourself out of the twist. Coming back into that knees to chest position for a final little squeeze. And then on your next exhale, you're just going to release everything to the floor. Legs straight out, arms anywhere that's comfortable alongside the waist or on the belly. Closing the eyes if you haven't done that already. And just taking a couple moments here to feel relaxed and heavy to the floor. Slowly start to wiggle the fingers and the toes. And then reach your arms overhead again like that full body stretch from the very beginning. And on your own time, we're just going to gently roll over to the right side for a moment there. And then you'll make your way to a comfortable seat. No rush. And when you get to that seat, just keep those eyes closed. And we'll gently open the eyes. Thank you for taking the time to take care of yourselves, as always. And hopefully you feel good and ready for the training week ahead. And yeah, thank you. And I will see you guys next time. Whew.